So right now I'm going back from the sauna, going to my parents' house to Jiu-Jitsu with my brother, and I'm just gonna keep making videos because I want to make another one that's longer. It's a continuation of the efficiency video. Well, I'm on the way to the spring to fill up probably at like 9:30 at night. Probably get back like 11:30 and just be exhausted and just sleep till like 8. Whatever. But basically, I'm back from the sauna, and I was noticing past like week I was having like little pimples on my skin. They're just kind of like ooze it, like they just kind of like excrete little white pellets. My body was like expelling these little white pellets. My skin otherwise looked good. I think it's a detoxification thing because I like sauna helps me detox through my skin. That's one symptom of detox. You can look into them. So going to the sauna probably at least once a week. It's probably beneficial just to help my body keep detoxing, which is going to help me keep maintaining the incredibly high metabolism that I've just jumped into by utilizing all systems go. So yesterday I rolled with my brother and surprised me with his strength. Then I'm like, now I'm just gonna focus on denying him everything, basically pulling deep half. Because he's just like, he's very technical, he's very good, and it's like I can ultimately resist him, but it's just exhausting resisting him. So I'm gonna pull deep half, and he can't prevent me from pulling deep half. I have too many strategies for pulling deep half. I'm going to use my bridge and shrimp sequences to pull deep half, and then his fear of deep half will make him hesitant to pass guard, which will enable my wrestle ups from guard more, and then allow me to get on his back, get my weight on him, wear him out over time by following him, and ultimately just creating pressure that wears him out over time, and denying him positional advance by maintaining the back. I mean, I could ultimately do mount as well, and I probably will. But again, just focusing on really like, I like the back because it takes less energy to maintain the back to a large degree. So, and I just want to get him to expend energy, but even then, I want to try to get him to expend this energy in deep half. So that I'm using my legs to tire him out, so my arms are free for attacking. I think that that's one benefit of Jiu-Jitsu, is trying to tire your opponent out with your legs so that your arms are free for attacking. I think that modern Jiu-Jitsu is, like, Jiu-Jitsu is so, I'll put it this way, Jiu-Jitsu is so effective in terms of the techniques that you're disincentivized from learning the strategy, because merely becoming familiar with the Jiu-Jitsu techniques and strength training is enough to help you defeat, and training in live combat situations is enough to like simulated live at an MMA gym. Just doing that with just submissions, drilling, and then strength training is enough to help you beat like the entire population, except for like the handful of people who are more obsessed with it. It's like a handful of people from like every town, not even. It's so few people that actually train consistently that it is. So you don't really develop strategy and tactics. And strategy and tactics are when you use principles to defeat your opponent based on the emergent properties of grappling. Grappling is sort of like an emergent property combat sport. It's like, oh, when all of these things are going on, it actually creates a condition where this is possible, or where other things are impossible, which then, like, you see what I'm saying? It's a highly contingent sport. Contingencies are strategy and tactics, and strategy and tactics is a result of mental training. So Jiu-Jitsu is a result of conditioning the body, learning the techniques, practicing the techniques, and having your reflexes be excellent, but also understanding strategy, understanding how to nullify your opponent's game so that he can't make you use energy. Simply knowing positions to go to, knowing how you can use your body type to create strategies based on moves that you're very good at that wear your opponent out. Because you can't just get good at, like, there's no such thing as a move in isolation. Moves are all contingent on other moves and position and everything. Like a move, like a submission is this emergent property of like fatigue, broken posture, control, connection, limb isolation, like all of these things. It's very like frames and wedges. It's just this it's an emergent property. So ultimately, you have to study the conditions that the property emerges out of, and that's something I want to do. That's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is so I can just focus myself more on the principles that lead to dominance in jiu-jitsu, because I'm going to be like rolling with my brother, and he's very good, and I want to be focused. So I think the best way I've realized to be focused is, at least right now, is to be focused within my life. Like, I thought this video would be kind of tiring to make when I started it, but I get this winner effect from making videos. Just kind of like feeds me now, so I get energy from it. So I'm using this as an opportunity to focus myself around the training. Also helps me build up a backlog of videos so that I can take pressure off myself to make videos, because like make hay while the sun's shining. Like right now I have a lot of mental focus and clear thinking, so I can just talk, and it's very enjoyable to talk. And then that represents thoughts that you guys can comment on, people can watch over time. I think you commenting is basically like, it becomes this filtering mechanism for my thoughts, so I can actually see what ideas are the most relevant and then keep refining those ideas, like building a pyramid with a wide base. And that's ultimately why I teach my brother my best moves, because if I teach him my best moves, then he becomes better. And it's ultimately like, there's a parable of this wrestler who's like taught his student his best moves, and then he gets defeated by him in front of the king, and then he's like, the king's like, or I think he doesn't, and I'm just like, I don't know, like whatever, you can teach someone how to defeat you. It's like, well, can he teach someone else how to defeat you too? Probably not. It's like, what's more valuable, the animal or the trainer? That's all I would counter with. And the reason I can think that quickly is brain metabolism. So that's a nice byproduct of stuff. But the reason I have high brain metabolism is because I have a lifestyle that I've created that reinforces high levels of thinking and high levels of moving my body in a consistent yet varied manner, with rest periods, so that I can improve this. Like, one of my goals is to make documentaries over time. Just make, like, I want to make enough videos in my backlogs. I have a short coming out every day and a long form video coming out every day. And then I can start making, once I have that for like a year or two, I can start making documentaries. Because a documentary is like an emergent property of, it's like an emergent property of clear thinking. So focusing on jiu-jitsu right now, I'm going to be focusing on DPAF, pulling lockdown, controlling from lockdown, denying his ability to do anything. He hasn't really, I've taught him scarf hold to a very high degree, and we've worked on scarf hold, both became very skilled at scarf hold. And he thinks that this is ultimately going to transcend strategy, but it doesn't. Because if you don't understand the there's just, jiu-jitsu is a process. Like, it is a step-by-step process that, if trained properly over years and decades, becomes inevitable. Becomes absolutely inevitable. And the reason we don't see jiu-jitsu dominating MMA right now is because we just don't see people doing it that way. People treat it as a bag of tricks. And it's not a bag of tricks. Jiu-jitsu is not a bag of tricks. Though the tricks are excellent, and it is a bag of tricks, jiu-jitsu proper is an understanding of why the tricks work through the study of emergent properties. That's jiu-jitsu proper, which becomes itself a strategy. So that's what I'm trying to practice right now. I'm trying to practice that by teaching my brother all my best moves. Coming back from an injury and everything, but I'm just trying to get back into it slowly. Just doing one, like, no time limit around with him, because he can put it on. Like, he can put it on. So it really helps me know where I am, and because he can be at nationals and like wrestling club, and like, it's really excellent. Like, pinning people at nationals, having not competed in wrestling for the past 5 years and just taking it up on a whim. He was pinning people at nationals in 6 months. Monster. Also, strength training, it makes him doubling a monster. So I want to make him even more of a monster. So if I can maintain my ability to beat him, then that'll ensure I'll be able to win worlds. But basically, I'm trying to increase my understanding of the techniques and principles. I'm just going to do that by teaching them online as well, because ultimately I have to make jiu-jitsu the most effective martial art in order to have the best people to train against, so I can win worlds. Otherwise, if I don't share my secrets and no one in jiu-jitsu shares their secrets, then jiu-jitsu will diminish, and then we'll be beaten by wrestling, because wrestling shares its secrets. So I want to maintain the dominance of grappling in general, and it's ultimately a team effort. So it's ultimately like so dumb too. If you can like tell someone how to beat you, and then that's all they need to do to beat you, like you weren't even that good to begin with. Because like if I tell you what to do to beat me, now you're just playing my game, which is the game I'm better at. So build it on principles, like meditate on the principles. You probably observe jiu-jitsu more than you practice it, and practice it more than you don't practice it. Just practice a lot, rest a lot, train a lot. I'm just gonna focus on just denying him head control and establishing deep half to wear him out. Guard I'm not good enough at guard, and then it kind of incentivized me to be offensive. I don't think offensive strategy is the best. I think I should literally just do nothing. Because if he gets me in these dominant positions because I open my game up, it sucks because he's actually good, and then it creates scrambles. They have to use my energy, and then I'm just not doing jiu-jitsu anymore. Now I'm doing something else, and then it's just fucking. So I just want to practice the principles. That's why I'm even doing this, and that's why I'm going again. So I can continue to practice the principles, so then I can really establish them, articulate them out, and kind of get back into that training pattern of dominating the principles of jiu-jitsu before I start training again proper. Because people are fucking crazy, and they will like totally injure you in training. So you gotta like, I mean, not entirely. Like you gotta like know your training partners. But I like to train around with a lot of different people because I like to compete. And people would just be like, I'm just gonna throw this dude as hard as I can. I got fucking injured for like 2 months with that, and it was terrible. Like I hated that. So and I'm not looking to like tap early, tap off, and I'm not looking to like have my groin ripped apart, have my ACL torn. I'm looking to like do this to force me to like be a better man, so that I'm just more durable as a human being, and I can express ideas better through my body. And then by doing this, it just makes me a higher level person in general. Kind of like if I can win a world championship in jiu-jitsu and orient my life around that in a sustainable way, I could do anything. And that's proving to be the case. So I haven't won the world championship yet, but I am I gotta go train jiu-jitsu, keep my game simple. Just really focus on like denying him the ability to do anything to me, because once you're in someone's power, it just sucks. So really jiu-jitsu is built around this denial game, and then the situations in which the denial is denied, so thus offense is established. And you just gotta like relentlessly practice those principles and avoid getting injured and strength train properly and just do all that stuff. It's really a very unifying thing. It's very hard to do. I mean, poor Kron pulling guard in the UFC. I hope he like pulls himself together and like starts to assess the martial art from like a fundamental standpoint, and then just takes like 10 years off, comes back at 45 and murders everyone, and then provides me with some decent competition for ADCC. Because I think Kron could do it. Like, I think he's just trying. But he gets stuck in this pattern as a jiu-jitsu practitioner where if you're really good, you open up your own school and then you coach, and then coaching is a different thing than studying the game continuously. So then you just get caught up in these idiosyncratic things that really have like, I don't know about that, but I just know that I'm trying to create the emergence of athletic power within my life and training program through the practicing of the principles that reinforce the dominant physical principles, reinforcing the movements that allow jiu-jitsu to express its asymmetrical principle-based dominance as a grappling art. That's what I'm trying to do, and I think that that's a really good strategy. So it's also a long-term strategy. I mean, I think that in the end, once I win a world championship and everyone starts studying me, I'm just not going to compete again, because they're going to figure out some way to beat me with just their relentless obsession. But I think this right now is ignored, so I can just come in like the leg lock people, destroy everyone with my superior understanding of cellular biology and adaptation, and then just never compete again, and only compete in my own submission only, no time limit league. Because, like, against specific people, like, because it's like, fuck it, like, why would I do anything else? It's just interesting to me, because, like, ultimately I'm just trying to stay sharp. Like, that's kind of like why I want to do combat sports, to force myself to stay sharp. So I'm not really looking to like beat people who are professional combat sports athletes at the game of continued combat sports dominance. I'm looking to create one giant peak that is the expression of all the principles that I've been developing over decades. Because I think that's something I'd be capable of while living a balanced life. I don't think I could do anything else, but I think I could really do that. And I don't think until everyone's seen the expression of that peak, I don't think they're even going to know what I'm capable of. in some fundamental sense. So I'll beat them based on their lack of knowledge of what I'm capable of and my intimate knowledge of what they're capable of. And then once they've seen me do it, they're going to study me, and then they're going to start devising strategies. And then a little bit, I'd be able to be beaten by someone probably, because preparation is a bitch. But I basically, again, have that same advantage of being able to prepare for the World Championships over the next 10 years without even a primary goal of doing that, but using the primary goal of creating the systems that will enable me to do that as the guiding force that will enable me to stay sharp enough to maintain business dominance, such that I can continue to develop my ideas, maintaining greater dominance in jiu-jitsu and business, so I can basically incentivize the most motivated people who are similar to myself in these various ways to work with me, so that I can ultimately found cities and industries based off of the principles that I believe are awesome, so that I can just like live a super awesome life and just have like the best erectile quality ever when I just think about my life. Just like I'm gonna think about my life when I'm like this is literally like my deepest motivation. I want to think about my life when I'm like 97 and my wife's just laying there and we're both still hot and I just get the fattest fucking erection and then we just have insane sex. That is like the motivating principle of my life. And I've thought about how I can make sure that happens. Like for my whole, I'm gonna go do some jiu-jitsu right now. And it's gonna keep my metabolism high, which is gonna keep the ideas flowing, keep the business coming. It's all a synergy, baby.